All right, I wanted to show off my personal patchwork deck. This is a modified Alleyman's deck. I had previously created a patchwork deck through trades in the alley, and then when the Alleyman's deck came in, sort of mashed them together, decided what I want to keep from each, and this is the current state of the deck. Obviously, it's still changing. I've still got trades coming in, but this is a little snapshot of where it's at right now. And I'm just so excited, and I just want to share it with you. So let's just start. So obviously we got multiples of almost all of the majors. We got our fools here, duck, cat, and here's the Fool of Fools. This is a card I designed, and some people in the alley might also have gotten this from me in trades. So here we go. All right, we got our magicians out here. I love these because this is like, like just like a wizard, right? But then we've got like a mad scientist, we got magic and science fiction. Very cool. This is from the Zombie Tarot. Then we got this Ganesh. It's kind of a cool tableau of these three. All right, next up we got 4 high priestesses, because why not? You can't have too many. These two read pretty similar to me. So, I don't know if I would need both of them, but they're just cool. They're just cool in a different way. This one is so like mystical, and then this one, look at this. You think it's a normal whale? Nope. That's a mutant whale. That's pretty cool. All right, all different backs here. All right, we got the Empress. So this one is pretty similar to the one that's in the Alleyman's. It's got a cat, but this one is just a kind of a different art style. This is Tarot of the White Cats. I just love this card. It's so funny. And then, of course, this one, different Empress. All right, now this, I've only got the one Emperor, but who needs more than one? Look at this thing. She's so cool. She's such a boss. Female Emperor. So awesome. All right, now the Alleyman's includes 2 Hierophants, the good one and the asshole one. So I replaced the good one with this, something a little different. And I kept the asshole one because I thought it was so funny to have 2. I love this. I normally don't like these kind of old style cards, but this one I kept. All right, here we go. Lovers. All right, so this is from the Golden Thread Tarot. Super cool deck. And then we got 2 little creatures, a little bit softer. Love that. All right, we got the Chariot and the Battle. Now I could have put this in with the Strange Arcana, but I decided to put it here with the Chariot. I like this one. It's like really simple. It's really fresh. I don't know if I would want like a full deck of this. Oh, maybe I would. I don't know. It's pretty cool. I like this one. This is a cool one. And then this Battle one. So cool, so different. All right, Strength. We got kind of a classic Strength up in here, although it's a male figure instead of the female. And then this is at 11 instead of 8. But I put it here with the 8s because that's just, to my thinking, where it goes. We got Shoggoth here, Lovecraft, and then this super cool sort of science fantasy Strength. She's kind of got a laser sword and hologram lion. I mean, come on. So fun. All right, Hermit. I should have more Hermits in here because the Hermit is a card that I like. I think they're just hard to find in trades. I think so many people collect them. They're hard to find. But I've got this one from the Shadowscapes Tarot. Beautiful deck. It was so hard choosing just one for my deck, but this is the one I got. Maybe I'll be able to find some more Hermits. I think I've got some coming in with trades. All right, Wheel. I love just the classic on this one, old school. That's pretty cool. And then we got kind of more of a Celtic one here. And she's actually holding a card. I don't know if you can see. She's just got a card, holding a little card there. So that's kind of cool. I like that meta kind of stuff. Cards with cards. All right. We got the Justice. This is from the All Type Tarot. I love this one because it's like, it resonates with this card resonates with the kind of the style of the deck. You know, this is like very like formal and precise, and you know, based on words and definitions, and so that really represents this one made out of words. And then we've got, you know, this one, the sort of, I forget how Seven describes this one in the deck, but it's kind of more like, you know, kind of more vigilante justice, you know, kind of taking things into your own hands, being kind of rabid with that. So that's super cool. All right, got our hanged men. This one, I just love this one. It's so cool with the snake, and it's like the tree is like coming on around his face. That's so cool. And of course, cute little cat. All right, now we got the 9 deaths. I don't know if I can get them all on screen at the same time. Let's see. This is one of the features that really got me excited about the Alleyman's deck. The fact that there were these 9 deaths, and of course with the boosters, you end up with more than 9. But I cut it down back to 9. These 8, obviously from the set, and then I've added this one, which I called the Gilded Death. Let's see if I can get it's kind of an Art Nouveau style with some gold. Anyway, super fun, super cool to have this many deaths and represent all the different kinds of change that we can experience. I thought that was just brilliant. Of course, trying to also show off the different backs here. All right, here we got the Temperance. This one is from like a Color Your Own, and I left it unfinished on purpose as sort of a reminder that when we work on balance and health, and you know, trying to maintain balance, it's an ongoing process. We're never quite finished. So I left this one unfinished on purpose. That's kind of cool. And then this one ended up, you know, this one's also kind of, you could color this one in too. So I might be able to merge these two, you know, color this one in, but this one's a little weirder because it's got the sun head. I don't know. Work in progress. So going, oh, right, and then I've got this one. Kind of forget about this one too, because I don't really read this as a Temperance. It's just, this is just like my Stonehenge card to remind me of my trip to Stonehenge. But it's at the Temperance slot, so there you go. Sometimes things just fit into a place. All right, we got our Devils. This is the one that I ended up choosing. Just kind of more classic representation, although it does have this weird face figure. And then, of course, Devil with Snakes for Dicks. You gotta keep this one, even though it is at 14 here. I put it at the 15 with the other Devils. Gotta love that card. All right. Got our Towers. Yeah, so we got our Atlantean, you know, mermaid tower. We've got this one with the different title, House of God, but kind of more the classic imagery with the lightning bolt. And it's shiny, of course. And then the modern one, technology fail. Gotta love it. So much variety. All right, we got the stars. Now this one, I don't know what this deck is, but it's so nice. It's got the painting that it's all gilding, and then I like that it's the stars, plural, instead of just the star. I like that. And then, of course, this one from the Alleyman, it's the shiny purple. So cool. All right. Got our moons. This is from the Omega Land Tarot. I almost, you know, I really just love this card, and I think it really helped me understand one of the layers of what moon means. These nightmare kind of torture, kind of guilt kind of things. And of course, we've got them very different interpretations here. This one, kind of strange imagery, and then the one, the child. I just love the variety. You know, whatever one comes up. All right, and then of course here at 18 and a half, the Gloaming Genius card, in my opinion, in between the moon and the sun. Halfway in between. Love having a new Arcana just slotted in there in the middle. It's funny. Love that. All right, we've got our 3 suns. This is another deck that I just love. The So Below. This one is just so clear in what it's trying to convey. I love that. All right, got our judgments. Here we got kind of more the classic representation. I mean, obviously modern art style, but more of the classic imagery. And then this is from the Marigold Tarot with some skeletons and what's going on here. Very interesting scene to interpret here. Is this a helper? Is this someone who's pushing him down? This skeleton's got arrows inside. So this is definitely going to read differently depending on, how you're feeling. Love that. All right. And we've got our worlds. So this one just really, just a circle, some flowers, some spirals, some spectrums, right? Just very simple, very straightforward. Then we got our baby. We've got a very different sort of feeling world, the figure and some strange teeth in the background, broken mirror, very, very different. And then, of course, this universe card. I sort of imagine this sort of at the end, one step beyond the world, like the universe, but then it's also got a space dragon. You gotta love it. Those different backs. All right. Continuing on, we've got our cups. We've got the Ace of Cups. Pretty simple one here. I love that this one's got a castle in it. It's just so big. There are Two of Cups. Just love the art on this one. So pretty. And then just kind of like the standard, but in black and white. Got our Three of Cups. Just one. Friends. Nice friends. All right. Here we go. Four of Cups. It's just funny to me, which slots end up filling up. None of these really resonate with the original Four of Cups, but they're all, different. They've all sort of got their own interpretation. We've got our octopus here, our cephalopod. We've got our baseball player pouring out from the eye, and then whatever this is. This deck is so wild. The cat with a TV head and wings with cups flying and like birds. Yeah, totally wild. But none of them are really read like the original Four of Cups. But that's okay. We're not trying to recreate something here, right? We're just going with cool stuff that works for us. Love this one. I just think this one's so beautiful, so evocative. And this I think of as my Rumi card. I don't know if that's actually supposed to be Rumi in there, but that's what it reminds me of. Might not even be the right country or time period. But this makes me think of Rumi. And that poetry. There we go. Got some Six of Cups. Got our umbrella hoppers. And the weird bird. What's even got? They're kind of raining in both. That's cool. I like that. I hadn't noticed that before. That's why we like to do this, right? Go through, kind of see what we got. All right. Seven of Cups. Card that I really love. And this is the one that I chose to represent, sort of the original. Choices, possibilities, so many options. This one is obviously very different. It's just dragonfly. Doesn't really read like this one does, but still pretty nice to have. All right. Got our Eight of Cups with our UFO. So fun. Kind of bring in a little, space. Nine of Cups. This is really cool. I love, like I said before, I love having tarot readers and cards in the deck to sort of turn the energy of the reading back on itself. So I got a reader here, but then also our Lisa Frank. This is again one of those cards like, I don't need a whole Lisa Frank deck. Do I want a single card that fits kind of into a slot? Yes. Nine of Cups are that super saccharine sweet, and they're eating ice cream, and it's just too lurid, too sweet, too much. Lisa Frank. Perfect. We got our Ten of Cups. This one is very more abstract, which I don't usually connect to the more abstract ones, but I like this one. And this one is just super wild. Gotta love that. So fun. All right. We got our Page of Cups. Our Dreamer here. Pigs are flying. Imagining going up. And then this one, really beautiful. Again, not the kind of card that I would usually pick, but I like this one. sometimes it's nice to have just a few that you don't really. All right, we got our Knight of Cups. So this is so funny because when I was originally trading in the alley, I was doing a lot of random trades just to kind of see what I could get. And I always like to open the process up to chance, kind of let things kind of happen. And I ended up with so many Knights of Cups. And then, just the circumstances, none of them ended up in the deck. None of them ended up being the final one. I just ended up using the one from the Alleymans. So, but I still have some of them that, I can slot them in. But they ended up being duplicates of, ones from the same deck. Or for whatever reason, just none of them ended up being the one. So anyway, maybe in the future there's a future iteration where it's gonna change. Got this Queen of Cups. Yeah, she's getting wet. She's looking at you. And then this King of Cups, very cool, very abstract. I almost kind of think of this as like a Fisher King. Not that there's anything about that, just that there's a king and a fish. But could be the Fisher King. Isn't there? In the Eliot poem, doesn't he mention a card that's a Fisher King and that's not actually a real card? But I've got one. All right, moving on to Pentacles, discs, coins, whatever you want to call it. All right, we've got our steampunk Ace of Pentacles, and then this thing, Tiger, very psychedelic. Love that. That comes at you in a reading. That's leaving an impression. Right? Very cool. All right, we've got our Two of Pentacles. This cool kind of punk figure, but with this crown head. I love this stuff that's just like, what is even going on in this? It gives a lot of possibilities when it comes up in a rating. This one, I love this card. It's one of those art decks where the art doesn't really connect at all to the original interpretation, but I've got this in my deck. It's filling that slot for the Three of Coins, and it's a weird frog creature. What's even going on? I don't know. Love it. Love it. It's coming up. All right, we got our 4, kind of a Rapunzel figure. Very different, but bringing in a different story, right? Just love to bring in different things. All right, we got our 5s. This one, classic. Love the pixelated and the reduction of the resolution. Very cool. And this one, I don't know what this deck is from, but it is so weird. Sometimes I think of this as the 3 of Crabs, but it also, fills that 5 of Pentacles slot. Very cool. All right. 6 of Pentacles. This is, kind of more classic one, but I chose this one because it's shiny, right? Kind of going with that theme of, generosity, gold. And then this one, very different, right? Kind of more of a almost Tree of Life figure, Da Vinci Man kind of thing going on here. This one hasn't come up for me in a reading yet, so I haven't had a chance to kind of interpret it. But yeah, could be all sorts of things. Could go in a lot of different directions. That's what I like. Cards that can go different ways. This one, let's see, are these both 7s? Yes, I think so. This one, somebody sent me. It's the classic, but they wrote on it. It says, "I like the taste of Pentacles." It's so funny. I don't know if there's a joke there, but I think it's funny. Just like, yeah, I like to eat those. That's funny. And then this, very different, right? We got kind of a devil or minotaur, big letter T. Yeah, I don't know what this is, but it's weird. I like it. Put it in my deck. All right. We've got our 8s. I have seen Over the Garden Wall, but it's been a while. I should watch it again. It'd be cool to remember what this character is. And then this recent trade from the Pulp Tower, gorgeous. And I was lucky enough to get this one. Painting with the, right, you got the figure in front, but all you can paint is pentacles. Love that. There's a story here, right? Like, that immediately says something. You gotta love the pulp style. So cool. All right, we got our 9s. And I always have to count. Is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yes, this is this in the 9 slot. Okay. I've never seen Game of Thrones, but this one is here because it kind of more reminds me of the classic, right? With the woman with the falcon. Except there's a dragon here, so that's kind of a cool shift. We've got our elephant. Reminds me of my son. Bring in the elephant. And of course, it's childish, you know, kind of more for children, but really high quality cardstock on this one, really thick. Love the feel of that. And then, of course, whatever this is. This reminds me of the I Ching, right? Because it's the crucible, the thing. If you read the introduction to the translation, one of them, what is that? Is that Jung that wrote that? Anyway, he reads, it's like he asks the I Ching about itself, and it's like, I'm the, you know, the sacrificial crucible. So that's what that reminds me of. There's probably other things going on. Okay. Stuck in the fire. All right. Tens. This really resonates with me, you know, with the original, the sort of bounty, the treasure, the reward at the end, the, you know, feeling content and satisfied and completed. And this, of course, doesn't resonate at all. It's just here because I like Minotaurs and Labyrinths and that story. It just happens to be at the 10 of Pentacles slot. So there it is. Gotta love Minotaurs. So cool. It's a very kind of personal symbol for me. It's fun with the patchwork. You can include those personal things. Page of Pentacles, Alien Lady. Love it. We got our Knights. Sort of a knight, sort of a different thing. Might be on a slightly different rank, but yeah, we got our gnome. We got some mushrooms here. We got a badger. Lots going on here. Love it. I think of this as the Rusalka, the, you know, the ghost who's going to lead people in the forest to come drown in the pool. Probably has different names in different cultures. And then we've got this, you know, the gears. I think it's like a robot. You know, you're looking inside. What's making it work? I'm not sure if valet corresponds to knight or page, so it might kind of go in between. But anyway, that's where it is. We've got our queens. Generous lady here. Kind, nurturing. We got our Egyptian, bringing in a little bit of Egyptian mythology. And we got our 3 kings. This for me really resonates with the King of Pentacles. That sort of precision, dealing, you know, with material solids, right? Mapping them out. So cool, right? With the disc. And this, of course, and another one of those doesn't really correspond. But I like the worm. I wanted to have a worm card. So there we go. All right, moving on. Swords. Yeah. This one reminds me of She-Ra, the Princesses of Power, right? Power sword. Power of Grayskull. So fun. All right, we got 3 twos of swords. Again, like, why do I have 3 twos of swords? Just because I like them all, and they just all happen to be at this slot. Kind of more classic, more of a representational, right? Cutting decision. And then we've got witches fighting. So awesome. All right, my 3 of swords. I love this card. I call this card Board of Ghosts. All these ghosts are coming out of the book, right? And she's just like, I don't care. Whatever. Moving on. Again, doesn't really resonate with the original. Should probably have like a more classic one to go with this one, but I don't. And that's your patchwork deck, right? Sometimes you got a few gaps. From the Hush Tarot here. Just beautiful. That's so nice. Such a lovely card. All right, we got our 5s. This one, again, I haven't seen very much of. Hasn't come up very much. I like that. Sort of a sad king. And all the soldiers have been slain underneath the roots. That's really evocative. That's really cool. And then we've got ravens here. Sort of a weird, dreamy, almost looks like AI-generated art. With the ravens. Very cool. All right, we've got our 6s. Love this one. Swan boat. Classic. The figure here is ghostly, right? Going across on the swan boat. Some really cool stuff. And then, of course, you gotta love robots. So hard to find good robots for your patchwork deck. Alleyman's came with one. I've got a couple too. Right? So cool. So fun. All right, we got our 7s. You know, love some that are just minimal too. Really classic. I love all the white space here too. So different. He's got all his swords. And this one has got the, the legend. I don't know what legend this corresponds to, but probably a native North American with the coyote. Yeah. Very fun. Trickster. All right. And then the 8, just the classic 8. Just got one of them from the deck. Sometimes that's what you got. Very pretty. And very close to the original, right? With the blindfolded woman. Although she's facing away, which is a little different. All right. Contrast between this two. This one is so visceral, so graphic. With the blood and just the anguish. This is really so clear, right? Just that tortured soul, right? And then here, same idea, but it's a unicorn and the unicorn is sad, right? Two very different energies, same card, with the contrast. Gotta love that. All right. We got our 10s, kind of more of an abstract one here. And then, what I assume is St. George and the dragon. I don't know if that's exactly what this is, but that's what it looks like to me. So there you go. And of course, we're not done at the 10, right? Because we go up to the 18 of swords. This is one of Cryptica's cards from Cryptica Erratica. So funny. I got this in a trade, and I was like, where did this come from? And it wasn't until I found Cryptica stuff that I was like, oh, great. So funny to me. 9 of swords wasn't enough, right? It's got twice as much. Love this card. We got our pages, right? We got our classic vampire here. And then our fish with a pistol, Page of Swords. Why not? Got an additional rank, Princess of Swords. Fairy with her Medusa crown and her sword. I love those, if you can kind of slot in extra stuff. And the swords have got a lot. Or I happen to have them. Knight of Swords is very Harry Potter. With the cape and the... I guess they're not owls. Huh. Evocative of that mythology anyway. And then this one, again, not a big fan of kind of the older style cards, but this one, her expression is just so, so funny. It's just like, gotta keep that one. All right, we got our Queens of Swords. This one, right, from the Alleyman. Very skeletal, right? Very spooky, very fun. And this was a much larger card. So I don't know if I've ever seen a tarot card so big, but I had to trim it down, and it doesn't have the label on it anymore, but very science fantasy. Moon and the creature and this brain and a vat. Yeah, this is so cool. So cool. All right, then we got our kings. This one looks like Elrond to me from the Lord of the Rings, right? And the sword that was broken, he's trying to fix it, or maybe I shouldn't fix it, or what's my role in this legend, right? And then kind of a classic, Mexican. It's got the hat and a machete, right? Very cool. All right, here we are. We made it. We're at the wands. All right. Here we go, another robot. I had to keep that. Like robot wand. And then this is from, a Bosch tarot. Weird little egg man with feet. So weird. If you haven't tell, I like weird stuff. I like stuff when I look at it and it's like, what's going on there? 2 wands, backpack, traveling. Got it. 3 of wands. This one, almost I didn't keep, but then it has like this it's got the rainbow edging. And that's what sold it for me. It's like, okay. Detailed, peacocks, sure. You can stay for now. Didn't mean to sound so threatening. I love you, deck. All right. Again, 3, 4 of wands. Very simple, classic image. Then this one, I look because it's got the bonfire in the background. It's almost like very like ritual, this. And then this one's very different with the witches and the knitting. So it's bringing in a totally different energy. If I'm going to have multiple of a rank, right, I want each of them to be bringing something different to the deck, right? For variety. Here we go. We got deers fighting, and then this is from the Housewives Tarot, the one that ended up in the deck. Housework, get away from me. I don't want to do chores. Six of Wands. There you go. You know, sometimes you just keep the one from the Alleyman. Got our sevens. I don't know what this deck. This one is just so. I just love his expression. He's just so confident. He's got these wolves, right? And then this one, also love the expression, but it's a very different. It's kind of like yeah, you know. I'm gonna do what I want. Love that. This is a recent trade. Love this. So I haven't even, seen all this stuff that's going on. Very detailed. There's little monks in here, something, little priest boys. Yeah, stained glass, very busy. I like that. Isn't something that's gonna pop out at you, right? In the reading. So I thought this was a hermit. Because it's the 9, but it's not. It's the 9 of Wands. Even though that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Are we supposed to understand that this is the 9th? Interesting. Huh. Interesting. Anyway, more to learn here. A little ghost. Gotta love a ghost, too. All right. Basket, completion, carrying, right? And then something totally different, right? Chained inside of a coffin. I don't know what's going on. Is she going to turn into a vampire? Is that why she's chained? I don't know. This is from some sort of fandom vampire something. Very cool. We got our pages, right? We got our cute cat. And then we got Will Smith in Men in Black. Of course, this reads a little bit differently now, post-incident at the award show. Right? But, cards change, cards evolve. History, layers of meaning being layered on. All right, we got our leopard. It's cool to have just an animal in here. And then this, right? Again, more of the Egypt stuff. Pharaoh or somebody here in the Sphinx. And is it sucking out the soul or putting in a soul? Healing. I don't know. It could go either way depending on what comes up in the reading and how we interpret it. Right? Very cool. All right. Queen of Wands. She's looking good. She's just vibing, right? Like it says in the kind. She's just vibing. Sunflowers. Then we got our King of Wands. This is from the otherwise not very great to read Lord of the Rings deck, but just have one. It's fine. Theoden's challenge is to rid himself of Wormtongue's influence. So let's bring in that whole story and that whole legend, right? Who's influencing me? Do they have my best do they have my best interests at heart? Ooh, can't speak. Am I being corrupted? Is there a traitor in the court, right? Bringing all that. And then on top of the traditional King of Wands, because you can always read these as the classics, right? So, all right. We'll move these and move on. All right, coming up, we got the Strange Suit. This is one of those features, another one of those features that I found really appealing about the Alleyman's Tarot. And I tried to build my own with swaps, but I didn't have enough of strange strange suits to mix and match. So I ended up building a strange court, just that would so. And some of that has survived in the mashup, but I retained a lot of the strange cards from the Alleyman. So here's our Ace of Hounds. I know this is supposed to be Bandoneon. It's an accordion. I can't help but think of it as an accordion. And then, of course, it's Ace Cordion, right? So hard to pass up to have this. I'm sure this is supposed to be something else. I'm sure this is supposed to be a high priestess or something. But I read it as 2 of Cages. So it goes here in the Strange Suit. And then 2 of Whips, obviously. We've got our 3 of Books. And then this is a card. This is from like a pulpy covers but I didn't really like the graphic design, so I added some, so I changed it a little bit. So now it's the 3 of Spacemen. 1, 2, 3. Got a robot in there. Love it. Classic sci-fi. Gotta love it. All right. Got our 4 of Keys. So I've got room for another 4 in here if I want. Have 2 of everything. Got our 5 of Mirrors, 5 of Candles. Again, this is probably Wands, right? But it says Candles, so let's put it in here. And the Mirrors. Kind of creepy, actually. Kind of creepy. Got our 6 of Inking Bells, right? 7 of Bells, or inking. Anyway, because this is the 7 of Bells. This is the inking something. I'll have to look it up again. And the 7 of Bells, very weird. Love that. Got our 8 of Junk. And the 8 of Tentacles. Can't have too many octopuses in your book, can you? In your deck. Got our 9 of Clocks. 9 of Games. Again, all of this is from the Alleyman. 10 of Eyes. 10 of Attention. It's good to have like a social media card in here, right? That's such a big part of our lives. Right. All right, now we're getting into the Strange Court. So this is what I call the Child of Gardens. Some sort of book promotion card. But I just, really vibed with this energy. This character makes me really curious about them. Got the Son of Knives. Now this is probably, right, like supposed to be like a Knight of Swords, right? But it doesn't say that. It says Son of Knives. So here you go, in the Strange Court. Daughter of Doorways. This is one, right? It's a handmade from somebody in the alley. Love this image. And I call it the Daughter of Doorways. And she's going in and out of stuff. Very cool. And unique, probably, too. Page of Curses. Yeah. Page of Passwords. This is originally, so this is a card when I was making my first Patchwork deck. I was like, I want this card in here because I want the Alice in Wonderland kind of thing. And I want the Labyrinth, but I don't know where to put it, right? So I'll just like, when I have an open slot, I'll write whatever it is and I'll put it there. So it was Page of Swords, but then things shifted and I didn't end up needing it there. So I was like, okay, well, what can I call it? So it's not Page of Swords anymore. Page of Passwords. Sometimes things just happen. And now it's this. And what does that mean? I don't know. And it's got a bucket on the back, so that might come up in a reading too, right? A bucket. Got Navigator of Leviathans from the Steampunk Tarot. Love that. That rank. What is that? That suit, what is that? Right? Perfect for a strange suit and a strange court. Here we go. Corsair, Knight of Spirals. It's a pirate. Just a classic pirate card. So this comes up, piratey. Knight of Dynamism. Just a dragon. Right. Of course, we've got the Masterless Knight, which I think maybe is supposed to read as a other Arcana, but I put it here in the court. And of course, a very popular Queen of Bombs. Love this one. Oh, it's coming out of her head. Oh, that's funny. She's going off at you, right? She's done. And then King of Ghosts from Halloween. Ghosts. A lot of ghosts in my deck. I like that. I like that. All right. Now we move on to another great component of the deck. Something a part of the original Elements deck, an additional Arcana. I call this the Mixer Arcana. So then the 3 sections are the Major, Minor, and Mixer. So they're all 5-letter words that start with M and end with R. And some of these have numbers on them. So I tried to, so there is an order to these. And I put them in this order and then those numbers correlate. So that was just kind of like a fun little puzzle to do to make sure that the numbers mean something on the ones that have them, right? And then the rest Yeah. All right. So here at 1, we've got Black Moon. Right. 2, the folded one. Right. Got to have a taco in your deck. I love tacos. 3, the Relic. Very cool card from the new Arcana. 4, the Green Man. Obviously supposed to be some sort of emperor, right? But put it here in the mixer Arcana. 5, the Tradition. Card. Consciousness. Very abstract, but, you know, bringing in that idea. 7, imagination. Very important, right? The art, what does this have to do? But this card says imagination on it. It's going in my deck, right? Got to use our imaginations. 8, hope. I don't speak French, but I assume l'espérance. Oh, I took Spanish. Oh, Straight Cutlass of Fire. Very cool card to have. It's got a little something on it. All right. Weird ass mystical shit. Fun deck. Glad to have a card from it in the Alleymans. Oh, Andros. From some set of demons. So of course, yes, I want an owl-headed woman riding a wolf in my deck. Yes, I do want that. 12, the Underworld. This is actually from a game, but I liked the art and I liked Burning Land of Horror. Why do I want this in my deck? Well, you know, sometimes you gotta put stuff that's scary a little bit. Awakener, an owl with a trumpet, of course. Black Dragon from Saturn. I picked up this deck at a thrift store because it was $5. And I was like, people want to trade that, but of course I had to keep one for myself. So I kept this one. Space Dragon. Focus on your ultimate vision. Okay. You have passed a test. Thank you, Dragon from Saturn. All right, we've got the candle, right? Reversible candle. Yes. Happy Squirrel. Great. Now I haven't been counting, but we are at 17. I put the Alleyman at 17. So there he is. Love him. Love having listened to the podcast. If you haven't, please do. It'll really deepen your appreciation for this artifact. 18, the Trader. Here we are. 19, Teacup, because sometimes we just need a cup of tea. I've got mine right here. All right. 20, Beyond Delusion from the Osho Zen Tarot. This is a recent trade. Love that. I mean, look at this. Gorgeous. Brilliant. Deconsecration. All right. Here we are at 22, Fear. Right now, there's a case to be made to put this at the end of the majors, right? Because it's numbered there. But I want it over here because I like the, you know, ending on the world and then you go back to the Fool. Having something else to disrupt that cycle. Although I guess, you know, fear could be the passageway, right? From ending one cycle and going on to the next one, right? So, you know, it could fit there, but that's not where I put it. It's here. It's got some details in there that I've never seen because I'm under a really bright light. That's scary. That is a scary card. 23, Dagas, right? Runes. Stick a rune in your deck. Lightning in a Bottle. I liked this one. Of the two I had to choose from, I liked Shiny. It's not hard to get me to like a card, just put foil on it. Fountain. I wonder if that was supposed to be from the Fountain Tarot and they couldn't get it. I don't know. Anyway, this is gorgeous anyway. This is nicer. Frost from the dice, Oracle dice, which I also have. All right, 27, here we are, the letter. So I think this is actually supposed to be like a Lenormand, right? So cool. All right, then 28, 29, we've got our white joker, black joker. I know they read differently, but I, put them together here. Ermin, reconciliation of opposites. Look at this. We got Saturn. He's got a cube body. He's sitting on a throne. He's got 4 hands, but only 2 arms. So cool. This is a recent trade. I'm glad I got this one. I feel very fortunate. This guy's gonna bring us some wisdom. We've got mushroom. Wanted a mushroom in my deck. Got a card that just says mushroom. It's got some mushrooms on it. And a spoon. Right. So that's 31, right? 32. The ant. So these ones are big, right? And so I trimmed it and kind of added extra red borders to make it look a little nicer. Finish out that pattern. The empty. Performer. Again, not a great fan of these older ones, but to have just a few in the deck, and as a performer myself, right? It's important for me to have that in there. Very cool. Hand of the Hunter. This one hasn't come up for me yet, so I don't really know. Don't really have a meaning for this one yet, but it's all right there, so. All right. She offers the sacred wine, so drink. So first of all, having a title that long for a card, love it. And then this is from a Rumi deck. I think I mentioned Rumi earlier. Love that poetry. And here you go. Drink that wine. The Albright. Kind of cool to bring in new characters, new mythologies, right? 38, the Kraken, because again, you need octopuses in your deck. Coming up from the depths. All right, the Night Owl. I'm hoping to see many more horizontal cards in the future. I feel like this has opened up some new design space. All right, the Horizon. I know this is supposed to go in the Tarot or the Tower trilogy, but to me, it doesn't really connect to that. So kind of decoupling it from that, putting it at its own thing on the Horizon and here in the Mixer Arcana. That's where it lives now. The Undaunted. Now this had 3 numbers, so I picked 41. Here it is. Yep. So this must be 42, Father's Sleep. This is probably supposed to go in the guidebook, right? It goes into the Strange Suit, but I slotted it over here. Because to me it reads more as something else than a figure. Oh, I guess he is a figure, but anyway, he's not a something of something. If it was the father of sleep, he would probably have ended up. We have our weird rules, right? We just got to make it make sense for us. Deals in the dark, very fun. Could also be a death, right? But Wandering, 44, right? This is the straight up labyrinth card. This is even from a whole deck of labyrinths, right? So Wandering, gotta have that. Who is watching the cosmic drama? That's a great question. This reminds me of a dream I had once, so it goes in the deck. Humor. Right, 7 fishes. The thing that's funny to me about this card is that there's nothing funny about it. It says humor, but it's like 7 fishes. I guess they're doing tricks? I don't know what's supposed to be funny about that. Anyway, bring in some humor, but maybe not really. There's another card I've designed. This is from the Gooseberry set, right? This is the implements. Right. Your chores have come to life. Now what? The Comforter. This could be, this could be an Empress, right? This could be a Queen of Pentacles, but it's here because it has a different title. Kuan Yin, a goddess who's important to me. Just wanted to get a Kuan Yin card in here, so there she is. Right next to Paimon, King of Subjugation, so hopefully they're good neighbors. It's hard to imagine Kuan Yin not getting along with anybody. But, all right, of course, Giuseppe, favorite, fan favorite. Who doesn't love Giuseppe? It's the best. So this must be 51, right? Because this is 52. The paradox, right? It can go either way, right? So when it's reversed, it's a different face. But it's both at the same time because it's a paradox. The last round. Desire. This is one of those Vertigo comics. So this is just a card, right? But look at this. I mean, this could totally be a tarot card, right? There's a lot going on in here. So why not have Desire in your deck? Galactic. It's from a past lives. So maybe you lived somewhere in the galaxy. Somewhere else in the galaxy in a past life. Bring that in. Gooseberry, right? From the Gooseberry set, obviously. I had to keep this one. Had to keep one for myself. Right. Time Machine. So great to have a time machine in the deck. Let's see. And another one from the Gooseberry set. I kept 3. Rainbow Obstacle. Just because this, look at this. Right? Plane running into your rainbow. That could be anything. Oh, right. And then the hole. I punched some holes in this one. So the idea is, right, if you pull, put it on top of a card and then, the holes might point out something, a specific small part of the image. So that's there. Desert. I love the clarifying energy of the desert. That's why that's there. Ouroboros. Yep. This card doesn't have a name because it's just strange symbols. I just call it strange symbols. It's from something called Necronoma cards. But this is like inscrutable, things that need to be deciphered. You need to have the right lore, right, to be able to know. That's kind of what that means to me. You're almost at the end, the Wild Hunt. So cool. Love that. And of course, at the end, the final tarot card. So there's that. So that is the end of the deck, but I do have an additional card, right, that I keep in the box. Show me what I need to know. So this is kind of more, I don't shuffle this in, but this is like if I need, a serious reading, quote unquote, I pull this out and I ask, show me what I need to know. So there you go. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully that was interesting. I love seeing other people's decks and their explanations for their cards, so feel free to upload your own and I'll watch it. Let me know. All right. Have a good one.